Okay, welcome back. Today we are discussing the rest of the topics we have in this unit ending in 92 about the project management, cybersecurity project management. In fact, what we are discussing here, it's a little bit more than what's really required in your unit and assessment, but it's a really good idea to give you extra knowledge and some more understanding of the concepts. So we are going deeper a little bit, not too much, because it is not the certificate for in project management or diploma of project management. It is just a unit about project management in the certificate for of cybersecurity. As I mentioned before, we as project managers or even team members, we need to understand project management very well. This will help us a lot in our career, and it will help us grow in future too. So today we are going to discuss the project time management and other topics. So we are starting with time management, and as mentioned, it is one of the 6 constraints. We have 3 main constraints and 3 additional constraints, total of 6 constraints. Can you remember the 6 constraints? So anyone can tell me on the chat about the 6 constraints we manage in a project as project team management or project managers. Time, yes, the one on the slide. Risk, cost and money, both of them, we call them cost. So budget, money, cost, we will use cost. Okay. Risk, yes. Scope, yes. Government, no. Benefits, no, because benefits part of the scope. Okay. Government will be managed if you're talking about permissions from government, for example. So this could be managed from risk point of view. If we don't have this permission or expired permissions, some fees maybe or penalties. So yes, the government will be managed through that. Resources, yes, / procurement, resources like human resources, machines, and material. So these are the main 3 categories of the resources. So cost, risk, benefit is not there. Benefits, it is not there. It's the scope is the including the benefits. So cost, risk, time, quality, scope, and resources. So replace benefits with resources. These are the 6 constraints. The main 3 constraints are scope, time or schedule, and cost. So these are the 3 main constraints to manage. So they call them triple constraints. So if you are reading a book or an article about project management and the author mentioned triple constraints, immediately you know they are time, cost, and scope. Then the other 3 will be the risk, quality, and resources. Critical path. The critical path, it's determined by the time and relationships between tasks. Okay, so today we are discussing time and developing your schedule. So here you need to do 3 things. First, you need to define activities. You need to sequence the activities and estimate each activity duration. How can I define activities? For example, if you are telling me, Sam, we will assign you to a project that we need to paint our TAFE campus. Can you manage this project? I will tell you, yes, but I need some experts with me because I don't have experience in painting. So I need some SMEs or subject matter experts. I need some consultation. I need to search maybe online or ask some bodies like project management bodies or syndicate or something or chapters. So I need to ask them about what are the activities included in painting the campus. What I need to do first. How can I sequence these activities? Can I do some activities in parallel? What must be done in the beginning? So for example, if I'm painting the wall, I can't immediately hang pictures because I need to wait until the paint dry. So this will take some time. I need to calculate this time and put it in the duration, so I can estimate the activity duration. So the activity here, please, this is very important. Think about that. We have some idle time. We must do this time. So during this time, so I painted the wall. I have two painters. They painted the wall and they are waiting for this wall to dry for the first layer. Then they will wait for a couple of days until it dries out. Then they will add a second layers. During these 2 days, they are not just sitting there doing nothing and getting money. I will assign them to different tasks, maybe paint another room in a different project or different site, or even in the same project. So until the paint dries, these people will do something else. Then I can calculate the activity duration. I can also sequence the activity. After painting, we will put the furniture, we will hang pictures. So before painting, maybe we'll do sanding, or we will, before sanding, maybe we will do or implement the electricity connections and so forth. So if you don't know about the activities, you can ask someone, colleague from the same organization. You can subcontract, or you can contract someone to do the painting for you. I don't know how to paint my house, so I might get a painter. I will search online or ask a friend about a painter. Then I will ask the painter if they can come and paint. So defining activities. If you have experience, fine. So you know the activities, then you can define the activities, then sequence the activities, which one will happen first, and the relationships between activities. Then in this way, we can estimate activity duration. If we estimated the activity duration, we can know the total duration of the project. And we can start calculating the cost. So we need to use a truck for 5 days. Each day, this truck will cost me $1,000 with the driver. Okay, so this means $5,000. So for this activity, I need a truck which will cost me $5,000 because I needed this truck for 5 days. So I need to know about the activity first, that this activity will take 5 days and what is needed there. So when we assign resources to this activity, we think about 3 categories of resources. You can take notes if you want to. These 3 categories: human, so human resources; people, yeah. Second type, machine. Do we need any machine like truck? Do we need raw material like sand? Okay. Do we need diesel for the truck? So it's material also. So we will need the truck. We will pay for the truck. We will pay for the driver, and we will pay for the diesel. So we are paying for these three items. Okay. Defining the activities will come from decomposing the big project into smaller parts. And if you remember, we will break it down. So we are creating what's so-called WBS, work breakdown structure. And the WBS will help us to know the relationships between different tasks, sequencing the tasks, and assign resources to each task. So who is responsible, who is accountable, different resources like machines, determine the duration of each task, then we can calculate the duration for the whole project. So we know what comes first from our experience. Again, if we don't have experience, we will ask someone with experience, or we hire some consultants. Then we draw what's so-called network diagram. So the network diagram in front of you here, this is an example. So we are starting, we have activity 1 and activity 2. So we can do them in sequence. Then after activity 1, I can go to 3. Also, to do that, I need to wait also to activity 2. So both of them should finish. Then I start the activity 3. After activity 2, I can go directly to activity 5. It is not related to 3 or 4. So, but 4 depends on 3. So we have predecessor and successor. So we'll do 3 first, then 4. So to start working on activity 3, we need to finish 1 and 2. So we are finishing 1 and 2, then starting 3. Then when we finish 3, we'll start 4. At the same time, after 2, I can go to activity 5. After finishing 4 and 5 together, I can finish this small project. Okay, so if we think about example for that, for example, your current studies. So now you are attending this unit. At the same time, you are doing the assessments from the other unit. So once you're done with both, you have some certificate of attainment, or you are graded. Okay, so we will estimate the activity duration. So how long it will take me to finish this task, and when I will start this task. Then I can know when I will finish the task. When they calculate the duration, so they, if we are saying, for example, I'm starting this task on the 1st of April and finishes on the 3rd of April. So how long this will take? Can anyone tell me how many days? 1st of April till the 3rd? 3 days, not 2 days. You don't deduct the 3 minus 1, because the first day of April is calculated. So when I tell you the task will start on the 1st and finishes on the 3rd, so the total duration here is 3 days, because we calculate the first day and last day, of course. Good. Another trick. If I have a task, and this task will need 10 working days. So, but the duration will be, we have 2 days off in the middle as a weekend. So In reality, what we are paying for 10 working days. But on the plan for the project schedule, we are calculating these 2 days in between. We are calculating that as time, not as money. Why? Because I need to determine the delivery date, the final date for any delivery. That makes sense? Yes? Okay. So we create the schedule, and after creating the schedule, we will add some reserve. So we will add contingency. This contingency could be, for example, 20%, could be 30%. It depends on your experience. It depends on advices from experts. It depends on project size and type. It depends on which country this project running in, different parameters like the environment. So different parameters here we need to think of. So we add contingency for the cost, for the budget. We add contingency for the time, and we add contingency for the quality. Okay, does that make sense? Okay. Any questions? Any questions? All good? So we have some time management tools and techniques for project managers. So we can use the we can use different tools here, and for example, Microsoft Project. We should have to-do list. We can think about weekly review. So every week we can have a meeting, virtual meeting or face-to-face meeting. It depends on the situation. And we update our schedule. We make some changes. We plan, we improve the current plan, we improve the current time schedule. Maybe I saved few days here or few hours in this task. Any idea how can we save time while doing or executing any task? Any idea how can we save time? Can you put on the chat? So hire more people. Okay, good. So now I need to save time on one task. So Julian saying, yeah, we can hire more people. Okay, what else? Plan ahead. Definitely we will plan, of course. Good. Part of the plan is the project schedule, the one we are creating now. This is part of the plan. This is the time management plan. Okay, multitask. If you can, yes, multitask. So teams. Okay, what else? Think outside the box. Yes, good. We can offer incentives. Yeah, we can motivate. Good. Okay, can we work extra hours? Can we work during weekends or public holidays or something? What other things we can do to improve performance? Yes, correct. Training. We can train staff to be more efficient. Exactly. This is very important. Bonus, of course. Bonus or bonuses. Yes. We can use better machines, better computers, faster computer, or bigger truck. more people, yeah, but all these things will come with a risk factor. They will come with management. You need to manage. If you are managing a team of 10 people, it's totally different than managing a team of 20 or 30. So the workload, so training is really a good idea. So we need to think about cost. If I am hiring more people, so I'm paying more money. If I'm delivering training, training will cost some money. Sometimes the training will cost double because I'm paying for the cost of training and also I'm losing the money of non-productive days they are attending training. So it can be that big. We need machines, better machines. Okay, this will cost more. Maybe some risks will come. Risks will come with everything. Extra costs will come with everything. So yes, we encourage staff. We make them feel appreciated. Yes, we motivate the staff. We give them bonus. We give them incentives. Yeah. Personally, I don't like the idea of overtime or working during holidays. I don't like this idea at all because if people work hard extra hours, many days, they might get affected psychologically and physically. They will lose their personal life, family life. Yes, it will lower the morale and efficiency, correct? It will, they will also lose focus. They will, the quality level will be decreased. So yes, correct. Replace with AI and machinery in some situations, yes, maybe in dangerous situations or repetitive work, then we train people to do some other creative work. So yeah, there are many techniques here. Thank you for your input, everyone. So first thing, I need to create a to-do list. So we are depending here on three-step approach. So what is the three-step approach? What we are doing here, we are managing our time. We are managing our time. Time is a constant, and we are trying to manage, to be more accurate, manage our activities within that time. We don't really manage the time itself because I cannot make the day 26 hours instead of 24. I'm managing the activities I'm doing this time, the usage of this time. Okay, so we will create to-do list. Yeah, I think all of us, we have a kind of a to-do list. It could be on a piece of paper or on your phone or a computer-based one. So as long as you have the to-do list, it's a good start to start with, but this is not enough. You need to prioritize the tasks in the to-do list. You need to put time frame for each task when you will finish this task. Then we have different techniques for managing your tasks. So we can prioritize the tasks according to most important and immediate. Then we do these first, then we might postpone the others while monitoring them. So first thing, we need a to-do list with assigned resources, including people, machines, material, and date, the deadline. When can I start and the deadline. Step two, we can have weekly review. So again, this is just a framework for you to think about. We can do this weekly review on daily basis. instead of weekly basis. So we will use the weekly review to review all of the actions that happened in the past and what's coming in the future. I don't think AI can replace humans yet. I still do my own vacuum. You can get $1,000 vacuum robot, RoboVac. Yes, it's $1,000. Come on, anything cheaper than that? There is a new one with mopping. Yes, it mops also. Okay. We are recording the session, by the way. That's good. Is that good, Woody? The one you have? I'm just thinking of getting one.
I spent an extra $700 when I bought mine. I spent $700 overall, but it was an extra $300 specifically for a self-emptier. Normally a Roomba, they've got a small cartridge and they fill up quick.
Yes.
If you've got a big house and you've got pets, which is my issue, I wanted it specifically for pet dander issues.
Yeah.
So it needed to be able to empty itself and then continue cleaning the house instead of having a person need to empty it.
Yeah.
So you can buy an automatic emptier, and that was what the extra $300 was for. But yeah, it's really good.
Is it mops also?
Yeah, it's got another cartridge you add onto the back. You just fill it up with the water and slap it in and let it go. It determines what's carpet and what's hard floor, so what it can and what can't mop over. It's really good.
So what is the model, or what's the name of it?
I'll link it in the chat. 1 second.
Oh yes, okay, no problem. So okay, it's one of the projects. Cleaning the house every day. Is it a routine work? Yeah, it is not a project. It's a routine work, so it's functional. It's a functional thing.
Yeah, we bought it as a Christmas present for ourselves, and we found it has very much streamlined the amount of
That's good.
just time. You don't do that anymore. Eliminates it completely. Yeah,
that's good. So part of your to-do list is, so you will do the to-do list, then weekly review, then time blocking. So we will do this task in or during that time. So I'm doing the filing on Friday, reporting on Wednesday, grading on Thursday, and so forth. So delivering the course, I'm delivering the course here on Monday and Tuesday. So I have time blocks, and this is normal. We do that every day in our personal life, but also it's important to think about that when you manage any type of projects. Okay, any questions? Any questions for me here? Again, as I'm telling you, we don't really go too deep because this is just related to the cybersecurity unit, not the project management diploma or certificate for. Why it's important for the time management in the workplace? Because we don't want to waste time. We have 24 hours. We all have the same amount of time. If we lost an hour, we cannot get it back. So we need to, our time is really life, our life. If you are wasting time, you're wasting your life. And managing the time effectively will help you a lot in being more productive and having more personal time and be even healthier because you are free from stress. Here some advices, like use some tools like project management tools, whether it's cloud-based or client-based. or server-based, it depends. So use effective time management techniques like prioritize, set time blocks, create action plans when you will do what and who is doing what. So assign these tasks for different people, including yourself, if you are managing a team, if you are just managing yourself or managing a project by yourself. So you assign tasks for yourself and you block the time duration and time blocks to do different tasks. Then you track that. You track the time, and you need to, as we mentioned, you need to give extra time during the planning phase as contingency. Maybe something happened. Sometimes in different organizations, we have like fire drill, so we need to evacuate the place. Then this will take half an hour or 1 hour. So we need to calculate that in our planning. It's part of the contingency. Maybe I'm sick one day, so I need to think about that. You have staff member or team members, they are sick, they can't come, they have car accident, they have personal issue, challenge, whatever. So you need to think about contingency for that. Okay, so this will help you to have more personal time. So instead of working after hours, instead of working during weekends, so you will become more productive at work and you free your time after working hours. I have seen many project managers, they are very stressed. They take the laptops to toilets to answer or reply emails. They are always on the phone. They are always under stress, even during weekends. So this culture, it's a wrong culture, to be honest, whether it's a company culture or country culture. The culture of not having limits between work life and personal life, the work time and personal time, this is really, really not a healthy environment, and it's a wrong culture. So by the end of the few months, even or few weeks, you might collapse. So why you are doing that to yourself or to your team members? When you have personal life, so you can give yourself more time to relax, for your for being healthy and fit, getting some values from family, education, spirituality, and so forth. So as we see on the slide. Okay. So yeah, we all face in many cases such a sentence, such a challenge. I have too much to do and not enough time to do it in. So how many times you have heard that? How many times you have told yourself that? Too many times. So we need to, this will create stress, of course. So we need to work on that by improving the activity management within our time. In short, we say time management. So being worried and stressed can cause different issues, sleep problems, heart disease, depression, anxiety, and other things. So it's important to have a plan and time management plan and system, and you update it maybe on daily basis. Any questions here? Any questions? Okay. So here we're talking about communication, and we mentioned before, communication is the most important skill you can have as a project manager or even as a human being or employee. Okay, so the types of communication medium for project managers. So we can have different mediums and different types. We need to communicate in different methods. So when I will communicate, I have seen some project managers, they dedicate, for example, the first hour in the morning from their day and last hour for answering emails and phone calls, making phone calls. During the day, they are in meetings or they are updating their plans. So they have a dedicated time for doing the communication part, which is really a great thing. Okay. What is the purpose of the communication? Who is the receiver? The type of information. So this will help us a lot to define the medium of communication. So if I'm telling you, I will communicate with you. So now we are using Zoom as this platform. We are using chat. We have other platforms for chat. We have text. We have phone calls. We have emails. So we have different methods. It depends on organization culture. It depends on the receivers of your message. It depends on different aspects of the communication operation itself. So face-to-face communication, it's important because we read the facial expressions. We read the body language. We read the hand gestures and so forth. So face-to-face communication, it's the best way of communication. But for many reasons, we cannot have that. For example, we have some pandemics, we have some lockdowns, we are located in different areas, apart from each other. So face-to-face communication is costly or it's hard. But you see, for example, nowadays, we have this war so between Russia and Ukraine. So the presidents or ministers, when they meet like face-to-face because they want to solve that. In some cases, they use phone calls, but mainly they use a face-to-face because it's really critical. It is a war. They have a conflict. They need to solve this conflict. It's huge problem. So in many cases, when you have some emails bouncing back, or I mean going to and forth, and we are exchanging emails about a topic, in that case, it's better to use a phone call or face-to-face communication. In many cases, the emails or chat will never give the right expression or intention. I might be joking, but you taking it as serious thing, and I forgot to put this emoji or use the wrong emoji, and it creates lots and lots of issues. So every time there is a conflict over email or chat, the best method is phone call or face-to-face meeting. It will be much, much better. So face-to-face communication, we can get a lot of information, not only what is said, but from the body language and gestures and facial expressions and the way we are handshaking each other. if we are allowed to do that. But because of COVID-19, yeah, we stopped many face-to-face communication like this class. So it should be two-way. Any communication should be two-way, especially when it's remotely or online, because I don't know what's your impression, what's your feedback. I need to get that. I need to understand that. So we need to think about that. Written communication, mainly emails, sometimes reports or memos. Policies, it's written communication. Contract, it's a written communication. Yeah, sometimes websites, web pages, written communication. Some of us still, we are getting some letters maybe during Christmas or something, or in birthday or whatsoever, some cards, but we still have written communication happening. I mean, letters or handwritten communication. It's good, but of course the phone call will be better, and the face-to-face, it's the best. We have social media communication, posts on different platforms, photos, videos. So we use that a lot. We can have one-way audio and video communication like TV or radio. So, or sometimes voicemail, but these are some of the methods we are mentioning, and we mention them here because we use them based on the type of communication we need to do and the why we are doing that. What is the purpose of that? If you don't mind, I'll go just to one of the previous slides. Is it this one about the no, here in the communication. Yes, here, the purpose of the communication. So if you are solving a conflict, it's better to have a meeting, face-to-face communication or video conference, if we can't have the face-to-face for a reason or another. Type of the receiver. Some people, they not or they are not interested in technology, or they don't read their emails. They are always on the phone. So maybe it's a good idea to give them a phone call. Some other people, they don't like phone communications, like myself. I prefer emails or text, but or face-to-face, of course, but email, but phone calls, I find it a bit odd. This is a personal opinion or preference. So based on the type of information, if I need to attach something, so I will use email. If I'm sending my manager a report, it will be much better to send this report by email, or even create a video about that. It could be instead of presentation. And if I'm trying to convince my manager with a new idea, maybe the presentation would be better than email. So I'm just giving you examples here so you can think of different items or different methods for the communication. Okay, so strategy, for example, in our organization, we are using Zoom for communicating with students. We use different platforms to communicate with internal staff members. Between colleagues, we might use Teams, for example, or Google Meet. So we are using also emails. We are using phone calls. we have landline numbers. So for example, Jenny, our colleague, I don't have her mobile number. I am using her landline number for students. I never call her on her landline number. I use the platform. I'm using Teams, so I can call her from Teams. I can see also her status, whether she is busy or she's available. If it's green, so I can give her a call or start chatting with her. So I'm using this platform instead of phone call or email. Sometimes we couldn't express the ideas in an email, so phone call will be better, or vice versa. Okay, so as a strategy, we can have main communication medium. So for example, emails for formal communications. So between myself and my manager, we use emails for formal communication. If we need to communicate in an informal way, we can use Teams or text messages if we exchanged our numbers, or we are using business phones, so we use that for exchange the text messages. I hope that makes some sense and gives you a good idea about communication and different methods there. Any questions here? Any questions? Okay. Here, this is the definition of communication for project managers. So we have different models. We communicate lots of things like activity status, team reporting. We need to fix issues between team members. We need to communicate some information, convey some messages. So we need to plan for that. So we will have a plan for the communication management plan. It's part of the project management plan. So we, in this plan, for example, we say, okay, the team members will send weekly report of their tasks to the project manager. The project manager will send a weekly report of the finished work to the stakeholders, key stakeholders, or remaining work, or cost and expenditure. So we have this communication plan. We have news bulletin updates to the media. So every 1 month we have some updates. We have a news bulletin. We distribute that by email or even broadcast or podcast. So we can have that. So to communicate, we have the sender and receiver. So we have a message here. We need to use a channel to deliver this message. So I am the sender here. I am encoding a message. So I have an idea in my mind. I'm encoding that one, express it in English language. Then I'm using Zoom as a platform, as a channel here to deliver and convey this message to you, the receiver, and you decodes that. You are interpreting that. I'm transmitting the message. So we can have some noise and we need to have feedback. So you are giving me feedback. For example, I'm telling you, am I connected? Can you hear my voice? Can you see my screen? So you are giving me some feedback. I'm asking you, do you have questions? Someone will say no, someone else yes. So I'm getting some feedback here. All good? Yes, all good. So I'm getting some feedback. Noise, can you give me some examples of this noise? What we can think of as a noise that may affect the communication negatively. Yes, technology issues, crashing. Yes, correct. some noise at the background, some dogs bark, or some machines. Yeah, someone knocking on the door, delivery, Amazon or eBay. Yeah, could be also some barriers, some other barriers like culture barriers, right? Different language, different expressions, prejudge. So I have this idea about people from specific background. So this is when someone matches this idea or this criteria, I have some blocks or barrier between me and her, or me and him, between myself and them. So we can have these barriers in place. So this is noise. Yeah, this will affect, of course, the communication. So language could be barrier if you cannot understand the person in front of you. So communication will not happen easily. Yeah, we can use technology nowadays, not very effective, but it can help, like translators on your phone and stuff. But anyway, different noise, technology issues. Facebook was down for many hours. Yeah. So yeah, we discussed that. Then we encode, we decode different medium and method, face-to-face, email, video conference, telephone, chat, Twitter, and different things. Feedback is important. Even for your course, we are getting feedback about, or in each unit, we are sending emails for the feedback in each unit or each quarter, it depends. So also I'm asking you, what do you think? Give me ideas, give me some feedback, any complaints, and so forth. So we have complaint channel also. It's part of the feedback loop. As we mentioned about the noise, something affecting our communication and affecting it negatively. So yeah, in the project, we have lots and lots of communication happening, and we need to make sure the channel is the proper channel and the method is the correct method. We agree on that before starting the project. So I will agree with the stakeholder that I will send her an email every week telling her about the status of the project, for example. So in conclusion, when you use or using the practical definition of communication along with a communication model, this will help you a lot to develop effective business communication skills. Any feedback, any questions? Okay, before starting the communication plan, we deserve a 10 minutes break, right? So 10 minutes break, please. And we will be back. Thank you. So we are discussing now the communication plan. And as mentioned before, just to reiterate and reinforce this piece of information, the project plan consists of many plans. So we have the cost management plan, we have the time management plan, we have communication plan, we have quality management plan, we have scope management plan, we have resource management plan, many plans, okay? So we are discussing now the communication plan, and we create this plan together and we update the plan. The planning is a continuous effort. It's a continuous operation. So within the project, of course, so it's continuing. It never stops. So when you plan for the communication, I need to know what are the goals and objectives. Should I need to inform some customers. I need to inform some stakeholders about the status of the project. Is that on daily basis, weekly basis, monthly basis? If the project duration is 10 years project, so sending a report on weekly basis to government, for example, government body, it's impossible. This is not the right thing. So maybe every month. Maybe we send weekly reports to the project manager or the some of the customers or some of the stakeholders. So I need to know what are the goals from this communication. Are we telling people that we are about to finish building the new shopping center, so start booking or your places, or new school is coming to the area, and so forth. So what is the goal from the communication? And what is the role or different roles? So who is doing what? So I'm sending email every week to the media. So I need to have some maybe marketing people involved here. I'm sending weekly report about the financial expenditure and costs to the financial manager. So who is responsible for that? So Sam will do this task. The project manager will communicate on daily basis by phone to the one of the stakeholders. His name is John Citizen, for example, and so forth. So we need to have these roles defined, who is doing what and when. Also, what tool and method they are using. So I'm sending a project report. Should I use Excel? Should I use PowerPoint? Should I use Microsoft Project? Any other tools? And how this report will be sent? Is it a link to some data I have? Is it a video? Is it email with attachment? Is it a meeting? So I need to define tools, methods, and what will happen here. Different messages to the public, to the media, to the government, to customers, to team members, and so forth. So when I will communicate with team members, think about big project, building a stadium, for example, in Cairns. So you start creating the plan, and once you created the plan, you can review this plan. You can improve the plan. If what is there does not really meet some key stakeholders requirements, we might add that to the plan, update the plan, and work on that. So what is the items included there in the plan? What are the goals? Why it's important to understand the project goals? Should we need to create some dialogue between or among employees and key stakeholders so we can gain acceptance of the project. Some change will happen, so we need to cope with this change. We are getting feedbacks from different groups or different stakeholders. So we have some steering team, project lead, project team member, leadership, project manager, project sponsor, some roles there. So what they are doing and what they are getting. So myself, for example, I'm the project manager. So I need status update from my project team by email every day. Okay, so we agree on that from the beginning and put that in the plan. So each team member will send me email by the end of the day that what tasks they finished, what is remaining, percentage of finished tasks, remaining tasks, and so forth. Then myself as a project manager, maybe I will report to the financial manager on weekly basis through meeting, face-to-face meeting. I have some details on a PowerPoint, then we conducting this workshop. So I'm communicating in different method. So based on the information I'm getting from my team, I will update the financial manager about that. So as we mentioned, you can have minutes of meeting or meeting summary, agendas for the meetings, status reports, newsletters for media, some formal presentations, some surveys. I need to get some feedback, some websites, update that, some informal small group meetings for many reasons. Brown bag lunch workshop. So during the lunch, we have some workshops. So they have lunch in like sandwich in a brown bag. So we don't really focus on the food. We focus on the outcome and the discussion in this workshop during lunchtime. It could be. So we can have different dashboards for communication. These dashboards could be digital ones or real physical ones. Different messages we can use, posters, we can use brochures, we can use videos, we can use posts on Facebook and other social media platforms. So there are many things. So we need to know the message type, schedule, delivery method, who will do what, and who are the audience. So this is the summary. It's really important to think this way. So we have some meetings, we have project updates, we have status reports. So task A done, task B 50% completed. So what is the message type again? So in the communication, this is the summary. Message type, is it report, updates, meetings, schedule? So we have the different schedules for different tasks and people. Delivery method, so text, email, speech, presentation, one-way communication. From whom? Project manager, leadership team, project team. Who are the audience? Steering team, sponsor, management team, project team, all employees, key stakeholders. So all employees and key stakeholders. So we can create something like that. And this is really helpful. So it will help everyone to understand what's happening, and it represents the communication plan. Other requirements: who is doing what, chain of commands, some priorities. What if we are stuck with something? Should we report on incidents, risks, challenges? Something new happened like COVID-19 while we are in the middle of the project. So should we update here, update the plan, and so forth? So yes, so as discussed, who, what, from whom, when, how often, how, status, and comments. So project manager and all employees update on the project from the project manager. When? Every month. Using what tool? Email. So status of the project, status of this message, it's happening, running, all good. Some comments, yeah, project manager is sick, so she delegated this task to someone. So we can create something like that, simple table as project communication action plan. And we represent that here in this graphic or poster. Then this is the part related to the communication in brief. In brief. Any questions? Okay. So what makes a good leader in general and good leader or successful project manager? So we can think of the leadership characteristics or principles, so skills. So we can think about the most important thing is the communication, and we can also think about having practical mindset. Great leaders rally people to a better future. So some quotes here. Leadership is ultimately about creating a way for people to contribute to making something extraordinary happen. Good leaders inspire a shared vision, enable people to act. So we inspire shared vision. So all of us in the team, we all have a shared vision. Just a moment, if you don't mind me. So just some noise was happening, so we got rid of it. So now we as a team member, and we manage this project, we should share the same vision. We should believe in what we do. We should understand the vision. We should know exactly what is the vision of this project, why we are building this new branch, why we need to change from Windows 7 to Windows 10 to Windows 11 maybe, why we are moving from Linux to Windows or Windows to Linux or maybe Mac, why we are upgrading our servers, why we are moving to the cloud. So we need to have a shared vision. So the good leader, the good project manager will inspire this shared vision between team members, stakeholders, anyone involved in the project. So the word stakeholder definition, just reviewing that, anyone that could be affected positively or negatively by doing or not doing this project. So the definition of a project stakeholder, again, is anyone, could be real person or entity like organization, government, body, and so forth. So anyone that could be affected positively or negatively by doing or not doing this project will be considered a stakeholder. Then we have key stakeholders, people who can take decision, and these decisions might stop the project or affect the project significantly. So the good leader will inspire a shared vision. Then the good leader will enable people to act, give some feedback, give ideas, tweak some tasks, how to do the tasks. We have good relationship, we have trust, we have confidence, we have reliability. I trust my team. We are a reliable team. We do things on time. We have the culture of supporting each other. Okay, we have the culture of transparency, open communication. Okay, so this relationship is very important in the workplace. It will make the project succeed or fail. So if you want to be a good leader, you need to do two things. First, I'm just reading that from there so I don't miss any word. First, give your team a reason to come into work, energized each morning, by creating a shared vision that they can be excited and proud of creating. Second, make sure your team has the tools they need and are empowered to take the necessary actions to make that vision a reality. Okay, we have also some extra stuff there. Okay, everyone, makes sense? So, any questions for me? Any questions? Good. So, if you didn't do the homework yesterday, if you remember the homework, will yesterday was creating a LinkedIn account if you don't have one, and if you have one, improve the current one. Create a CV with the topics we are discussing in this unit, in this qualification, the whole qualification. Each unit represents one major topic. Include that in your CV, that you know about project management, that you know about assessing gaps in cybersecurity, you know about incident handling, you know about WHS, and so forth. So add that to your CV and LinkedIn profile. Your LinkedIn profile should match your CV and vice versa. Okay. Some questions about what's going on next week. We still have delivery next week and unpacking the assessments next week. So yes, we will do the unpacking or unfolding the assessments. And also we have some topics to discuss next week. Any other questions? Any other questions for me? Okay, I will stop recording now and stay online.